Hello, I've got a little shop update for you. My name is Brian with CarverBanjos.com. Do some good news, bad news. So the good news is I'm not behind on orders. I've been really staying up on orders this year. I will ship the order within a few days of getting it, and that's pretty good for me. Now the bad news is USPS is in crisis or something. Something's going on with USPS right now. My post office worker told me they're still processing packages from Christmas at the hub in Indianapolis. Pretty much every kit I've sent this year has taken like 10 days to arrive. There are people that I'm talking to right now that have been waiting 2 weeks watching for their kit, and it's bouncing around between hubs. So it's not hard for me to take the package to a different place. I can go to FedEx or UPS. The problem is my website, I'm paying for a service to have the USPS app on my website calculate the exact shipping cost, charge the customer. This is very helpful to my business, and I'm gonna have to find the FedEx app, the UPS app, get it put into my website, stuff that maybe I can figure it out. I'm gonna pay someone to do it. I have to. That's what I usually end up doing for web work like that. And so I haven't done it yet. And so right now I'm going to keep the USPS charge. If you purchase a kit, you're paying for priority mail, and unfortunately people are getting like just terrible service with that. It used to be the best service, and it's not anymore. So I'm not changing anything on my website yet, but that will probably happen soon. So bear with me if you're a new customer and you're going to be paying for the USPS. It's going to be about the same price, but it's going to go with a different service. So I'm going to start using UPS right now. So expect to be delivered UPS. If at the time of your purchase, send me an email, carverbanjos@gmail.com. If you do not want me to use another shipper, if you have to have it USPS priority, I will send it USPS priority, but also bear in mind it's probably going to arrive late. So that's my rant on that. I mean, something's going on with the postal system right now, and it's doesn't seem to be going in a good direction. So that is frustrating for my customers and for me. People are paying for that. I don't benefit from using one service or another. I send it out and I just hope that it gets there. And anyway, so I've had a few emails just this morning from customers. Now, one was a strange case. They sent me a screenshot of their tracking number, and they say, well, it shows here it was delivered to another state. And I never gave them a tracking number, so I don't always send tracking number to everyone. I will provide a tracking number if you ask me, but I usually just get the order, get it in the mail, and it gets to you before you even really start wondering what's going on. That's how I've always done things, and it's never really been a problem. I've never had a package get lost, and I've sent thousands. And of course, I always give tracking numbers for like higher end banjos that we need to watch where they're going. I understand that, but for the kits, I usually just put it in the mail and no worries, and it arrives, no problems. Anyway, back to this customer. They had a tracking number somehow. I'm waiting for a reply back. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just a mistake. I don't know where they got that tracking number. But then it got me thinking. I have purchased things on eBay, and eBay sends the tracking information, and you can watch it. And I've noticed lately, I'm getting... I buy a lot of things on eBay. And I've noticed lately that a lot of my packages are arriving, and then I go back and look at the tracking, and it says it's at this hub in this state. And then I watch it, and it like updates every day. It goes through the system, and then after a few days, it finally says it's delivered. And there's no reason for this delay in the tracking. I believe that these are fictitious tracking numbers that are being produced, and I don't know why. And I also don't know if my website is producing fictitious tracking numbers, because if you're not getting a personalized email from carverbanjos@gmail.com saying, hey, thanks for your order, this is the tracking number, I never sent you the tracking number. So I don't know where the tracking numbers are coming from, but if you get some notification from, maybe it's coming from PayPal, it's not the tracking number. I don't know why it does this. It's possible it's doing this, or it's possible it's just kind of a one-off just misunderstanding from this customer. I don't know. I'll find out. But anyway, nonetheless, their package has been in transit for over 10 days, and I did give them the correct tracking number, and now we can see it's at least at the right hub. It's getting close to their location. So yeah, I've had a lot of emails about the order is going to hubs that don't even make sense. It's going back and forth, staying in one place for like 10 days. Post office is messing up big time right now. It's unfortunate because I've used the post office, for 20 years doing this, and for the past 10 years, I mean, gosh, I've spent just, who knows, probably $100,000 on postage in the past 10 years. And I'm gonna start giving that business to a different company now. So new orders, I'll just say at my discretion, I'm gonna send it a different shipper, even though it says you're paying for USPS priority. I might be sending it UPS or FedEx. And if you absolutely do not want me to do that, just send me a message when you place the order, and I'll send it however you want me to do it. Okay, so here I have a banjo ready to play. This is based upon the new Minstrel hardware type kit. You can get a kit, you can get a kit on the site right now that is exactly like this banjo, but you're gonna have to put it together yourself. This one I put together, and I'll tell you all the features. First, it's got a frosted plastic drum head, and it's got the walnut stain option. It's fretless, and it's got the wenge pegs. I like the wenge pegs. They match the dark stain on the maple rim. So this kit is this banjo is available right now. CarverBanjos.com, $600 plus shipping. It's got some nice figure on the dowel, and I will note there's like a knot right here on the neck, a little bit of character. And I believe it's a polyurethane finish, I believe. It's semi-gloss, and it's nice. Feels good. Not much of a performer lately, playing the banjo, but the drum head is just really nice to not have to worry about what is happening with a skin. The skin, some skins are more finicky than others. They all have their own personality, and some react to humidity more than others. So you do have to kind of baby a banjo that has a skin head. With plastic head, humidity does not affect it at all. It's never going to sink. It's never going to need a different bridge. You're never going to have to adjust the action. When it's put together, it's put together. That's it. You can adjust the tension on the head with this simple hardware, but you don't need to. It's already done. So really, it's just this banjo. It's good to go. You can play it inside, outside, high humidity, low humidity. It really doesn't matter. This thing's just it's just gonna be a workhorse forever. So a lot of people are afraid of friction pegs. I put this banjo together months ago, probably in October of last year. And then it just kind of hung on a rack for a few months, and I picked it up and haven't really tuned it since. So it does hold its tuning. The only thing about these pegs is they're tapered, so as you tune, you kind of want to push them up, especially when you get to where you're wanting to be tuned. That, you know, that last little turn, you want to push it up. And then also while you're doing it, it's kind of a two-handed job. I always press down on the string, and that's to guide the string down on the peg, because we want a nice down slope here at the nut. If the string is sitting, you know, too high up on the peg, it could pop out of the nut, or it could buzz at the nut. The fifth peg, sometimes I get this question, which doesn't make sense to me, but maybe it makes sense to some people. They say, oh, I got a kit, but I had to make my own fifth string pip. Or why are you not using a pip on your 5th string? Or I don't like the string height at the 5th peg. I had to make a pip to hold it where I wanted it. None of that makes sense to me. The 5th peg is a pip, and it's holding the string at a very precise place. You have to guide the string on the peg so you can adjust the action of that 5th string by winding it on the peg in a certain spot. And yeah, it takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit more care, but you can get that string, the string action right there, exactly where you want it. Some people, myself, I like the action of the 5th string at the peg to match the action of the other strings in that spot. Some people like it to be closer to the fingerboard. And when you're using a pip, it's giving you an exact string action. But if you add a pip to this type of a banjo, it doesn't really matter a lot in this case because you're not really fretting the 5th string. But if you put a pip here, like say you put it right here, the scale length of the string just changed. And if you were to fret it, like say at the 7th fret, well, it's got a different scale length than the rest of the banjo now. I have the string terminating at a very specific spot, exactly at where the 5th fret should be. Right where the string wraps around the peg is where the 5th fret would be. So if you're adding a pip to this type of a neck, you're changing the scale length of just the 5th string. And it doesn't really matter because usually we're not fretting, but it could matter, and it kind of matters to me. I don't use pips for a reason on this type of a neck. So, okay, this banjo. I feel like I'm always playing the same songs over and over and over again in these videos, so I'm not even gonna play a song for you. Sounds good, plays good, stays in tune, better than you would probably expect from friction pegs. You have to keep in mind, these are violin pegs, and violins use high tension steel strings, and the scale length is much shorter on a violin, so it's much more precise when you're tuning it, if that makes sense. I'm not sure I'm explaining that correctly, but we've used these same pegs on violins, for hundreds of years, and nobody really worries about it. Nobody buys a violin and says, man, I'm not going to be able to keep this thing in tune because it has friction pegs. It's just the way it is. So these pegs work great on banjos too, especially with nylon strings. They're very low tension strings. They don't need a lot to stay in tune. Alright, so carverbanjos.com. Sorry for the delays to my customers that are waiting. If you're waiting for your kit, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people that are waiting. And for future orders, I might send it UPS, but if you don't want me to, let me know. All right, have a good day. carverbanjos.com.